Following are tips on how leaders can delegate. First of all, clearly articulate the desired outcome and clearly identify constraints and boundaries. We have a saying that's very, very often used in the Canadian workplace, and that is employees need to take initiative. It's used in evaluations, it's used everywhere. But the tricky thing is we don't always know how much initiative, and we can run into problems if we take too much initiative, but also if we take too little initiative. So the more that you can articulate the boundaries, the confines of doing the task, the easier it will be for the employee to anticipate how much initiative they should take. Where possible, include people in the delegation process. So whatever you can do to allow for the employee to make decisions about how they will do the task will build in that intrinsic motivation, and they're more likely to do the task well. Match the amount of responsibility with the amount of authority. So understand that you can delegate some responsibility, however, you can't delegate everything. Ultimately, you are the one that is accountable, so remember that the buck stops with you. In one case, I remember a supervisor delegated me to organize some meetings for different people that were doing the same kind of job as me. I was working with credits at the time, and so across multiple divisions, I sent out this memo. We didn't have email yet. I sent this memo out to all these different areas, and people were really, really put out that this credit person was telling them to come to this meeting. And so I didn't have the authority to go with the task, and it all kind of backfired, and we had to cancel the meeting. The next tip is to delegate to the lowest possible organizational level. So the people who are closest to the work are best suited for the task because they have the most intimate knowledge of the detail of everyday work. And this also increases workplace efficiency, and it helps to develop people. So people higher up in the chain are able to do tasks that are maybe require different sub-skills. Provide adequate support and be available to answer questions. So particularly at the beginning when there is that learning curve, just remember that it's actually more work for you in the beginning. So you will need to be there to answer questions and provide that support. Focus on results. So concern yourself with what is accomplished rather than detailing how the work should be done. Your way is not necessarily the only and best way, and allowing that person to control his or her own methods and processes will facilitate success and trust. Avoid upward delegation. So if there is a problem, the person may shift the responsibility for the task back to you. So rather than taking it back again, you can ask them to come up with recommended solutions and not just providing an answer. And I mean, this is classic coaching where you let them come up with the answer, and then they're more likely to be able to do the task in the future. Build motivation and commitments. So discuss how success will impact financial rewards, future opportunities, informal recognition, and other desirable consequences, and then provide that recognition where deserved. So sometimes, you know, that can be monetary, but sometimes we're not able to do that. And I remember one time being asked to, I was delegated a task to do payroll, and I had to stay over a long weekend. I had to come in on the Saturday, and you know, I wasn't happy about this, but people had to be paid. And the following week, I got a thank you, some flowers, and you know, it was such a small thing, but I never forgot that I was recognized for going the extra mile for the company and working overtime. Establish and maintain control. So because the person is newer to the task, there's this learning curve. We have to make sure that we discuss timelines and deadlines. agreeing to a schedule of checkpoints, so you'll be checking in on them to see how the project is progressing, making adjustments, so you might be switching to a plan B or a plan C, and then taking time to review all the work submitted and not just assuming that everything is being done to the standard that you want and need.